Hey everyone, welcome back to Yarn Purpose. It's the end of the month, so it's time for coffee catch-up. Hey everyone, it's Jen. Welcome back. I'm here with what I think is episode 20 of the coffee catch-up series here on Yarn Purpose. If you're new, welcome. And if you've been here for a while, welcome back. So I have lots to talk to you about today. I'll just catch you up sort of on what's been going on over the last month, just with life. I have a finished object, works in progress. I'll talk a little bit about the other crafts besides knitting and crochet that I've been working on. I have a little bit of stash enhancement, and I'll talk about the books I've been reading because I've been getting good feedback about sharing that towards the end of the coffee catch-ups. And then at the end, I will catch you up on everything work and Jen Lucas designs. So first let's get into life stuff. It's been pretty standard around here for the last few weeks. I did travel to Cleveland for the TNNA trade show. That's the National Needle Arts Association. They have a trade show every summer and winter. So I went to the summer show in Cleveland, and so that was super great. I'll talk more about that at the end, but it's always good to like go and hang out with your friends, especially your friends that have the same job that you do, so they truly understand what you're going through as a small business owner and just the ups and downs of being a one-person show. So it was really great to see all of them. Other than that, my husband and I bought bikes, like bicycles. It's something we have been talking about for forever. So we went out and bought bikes. We had done a fair amount of research. I had not had a new bike since I got a pink 10-speed Schwinn for my 10th birthday. We did some research. We ended up buying them at a local bike shop near our home, which I think was a good decision. We had looked at sort of big box stores because obviously the price is very good, like in comparison. But in the end, we went to the local bike shop. So I think that was a good choice for us. But I'll tell you what, so we go there just to look. We're just looking. We probably aren't going to buy them. So they're like, do you want to test them out? And we're like, I guess so. I mean, you probably should like test out a bicycle, especially if you're going to like a local bike shop where, the prices are a little higher. But it was like a little embarrassing because I've really only ridden a bike like one time, maybe 2 times as an adult. So we just had to like go out. Like, he's like, oh, there's like the bike lane over there on the street. We're just like, but it was fine. But I'm really excited that we have them, and we have the rack that can go on the back of our cars. So on the weekends, we've been going out for bike rides up here in the northwest suburbs of Chicago. There are like a ton of bike paths around. So even though I definitely am not confident enough to be riding on the road to get to the paths quite yet, since we do have the bike rack, we're able to just drive maybe 10-15 minutes to the bike path and then just ride on the bike path where there are no cars. So that's been really fun. I feel like my husband and I have finally found sort of an activity. I don't want to say activity, like an exercise that we both enjoy. Like, we both enjoy different things for exercise. But I feel like this one, we both really have enjoyed it so far. So I'm very excited that this is something we can do together. So that's very exciting. And then the other thing that I started doing is I signed up for tap dancing class. You heard that right, like tap dancing. So I took dance as a kid for 15 years, like ages 3 to 18. I danced that whole time. And as an adult, I just had a hard time deciding if I wanted to take dance class. I don't necessarily fit the typical body type of a dancer, but I've really reached a point where I'm like, I just want to do it. So I found a class. It's a little bit further from my house, but it's like 6 weeks. It's like a 6-week summer session of tap dancing class. So I actually saw it on Instagram. And then just signed up before I could change my mind. So that's been really fun. I've had, it's only, like I said, 6 weeks long. I've had 2 classes so far. It's been really fun. So I don't know. That's something I might continue to do into the fall, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. So that's really been it. So yeah, so I guess now we can get into the actual knitting and stuff you're here for. So first of all, I have a finished object, and that is these socks. So these are the Knit Picks Felici Spooky, and I was working on these last time and I did go ahead and finish them. You know what, I'm gonna go get a sock blocker so you can see them better. Okay, I have the sock blockers, so I feel like you can see them a lot better, so here we go. So again, Knit Picks Felici Spooky. I knit them top down, German short row heel. I have a video for the German short row heel, and I do have some patterns with it in there, but I'll link to my German short row heel video below. I really love these. I made them extra long. Even though I wear a size US size 11 shoe, the Knit Picks Felici yarn is very generous. My friends that have small feet can actually get 2 pairs of socks out of 2 balls. So yeah, so I have those done, ready for Halloween, yay! So very excited. That's the only thing I have finished though, as far as like personal projects go. I've been doing a lot of cross stitch, which you'll see in a little bit. So I guess I'll get into the works in progress, which I have here in my Hamilton bag from Slip Stitch Studios. And I have here, these were the June socks, the yarn that I had picked in the last coffee catch-up. And so, sad. This is probably the worst I've done for my monthly sock knitting, because I have 1 sock done, and then I have this wee little start of a sock. Let's put this one on a sock blocker. Okay, so here's my first sock that I have done, and then again, I have literally, I think that's 1 to 2 rounds of sock number 2. So, but this yarn is Mustache Yarns, and the colorway is Rainbow Yo-Yo. So you can see, because it goes like from the purple to the pink, and then pink to the purple, and then purple to pink. That's so the yo-yo is an appropriate name for that. So I love these. I actually did knit these smaller. I said last month that my pile of socks over there for myself is getting pretty tall, so I was gonna start knitting socks not in my size. So this one's a little bit smaller. I don't want to say who it's for because I don't know if they watch the videos or not, but so I'm gonna hopefully get working on that second sock. I just got a little distracted by some work stuff, which I'll show you at the end. So I ended up working more on a shawl for work than I was planning on. So anyway, but I'm excited to have 1 sock done. I'm sure I'll get the other one done. I've been doing, you know, pretty good on this sort of year-long sock knitting project that I created for myself. So, so that's it. So I guess while we're talking about the socks, let's go ahead and pick the July yarn, because I'm sure that I'll finish that sock in the next week or 2. So here is my bag of yarn that I put some different yarns in at the beginning of the year, and I've been picking one out randomly. It's starting to get a little more empty in there. I do think next year, some people have commented, and also I was talking to my friends, I do think next year I'm going to try to do something where I put them, I mean, honestly, I probably have enough project bags or something. Like, I feel like I'm going to try to make it more random, so I'm not just like sticking my hand in a bag where I can kind of feel what's going on. So I don't know if I'll like stick them in paper bags or stick them somehow in different project bags or something to like make it a little bit more of a surprise. I don't know. Although I feel like I'm trying to be fair to all the yarn in the bag for which one I'm grabbing. Okay, so I'm just mixing this up a little bit more. Okay. At least it's getting easier to mix it around now that there's less yarn in there. Okay, ready and go. Ooh, another rainbow. Yay. Let's see what this one is. This is also a Mustache Yarns. And so this is the Perfect Sock Self-Striping. And the colorway on this one is Martian Rainbow. Well, you know I buy a lot of rainbow yarns, and people gift me a lot of rainbow yarns. So here's the the June. So you can see this one does have more of that like bright green. This one has only like very subtle green in there. So Martian Rainbow from Mustache Yarns will be my July yarn. Ooh, yay. I've knit a lot of rainbow socks, I feel like this year. I don't know. I guess I don't know if this year if I've knit a lot of rainbow socks. I'm also thinking of all that white birch fiber arts that that I've bought and knit socks for my nieces and stuff. So anyway, so that is the whips. As far as the crochet blanket that I started, I haven't put any work in on that either. Yeah, I don't know. I think I just still was working a lot on my cross stitch, and then while I was traveling for work to TNNA, I was really just working on a shawl I'll show you at the end. So that's really it. Not too much knitting today. But then I'm going to go ahead and get into other crafts that I've been working on. As far as other crafts go, it's really only been the cross stitch. Like I said, I have not really picked up the English paper piecing. So I don't know. I don't know if you're like this. I've probably talked about it before. I tend to go sort of in cycles for like what I'm into. So like the last month I've been like really into the cross stitch, but then like who knows, like next month I might be really into the English paper piecing again. And I feel like in May I was like knitting a ton of socks. So it's just kind of like, it kind of rotates what my favorite thing to work on is, which is kind of nice when you have multiple crafts that you like to do, you know, that you can like kind of put one away for a while and pick another one up. So anyway, no English paper piecing this month because I think I put everything sort of, I have like a little Rubbermaid tote because I don't have a lot of stash and stuff yet. So I like put everything back the last time I worked on it and like put it away on the shelf where I keep it. And then I just haven't gotten it back out. But cross stitch wise, I have been making some pretty good progress. I posted a picture on Instagram earlier this week. I've made a little bit more progress on this since then, and I have been dedicated to this project. I want to start something else so bad, and I like, no, you have to try to be monogamous to this cross stitch project and just finish it because I want this. I really do want this. So it is the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery's Jack's Halloween Dream. And so I purchased the kit directly on the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery website. So, you know, it's, I've been watching a lot of FlossTube, which is like cross stitch needlework YouTube videos. So I'm like learning all their terms. So I used the called for colors because I bought a kit. So you can see I pretty much just have this last corner here to do. The only thing is that, and this is on me, this is not on like the kit or anything, I'm running out of this Krynic here. It's like a sparkly thread, but it's really my own fault because I've had a very hard time working with it. I'm such a newbie when it comes to this stuff. And so like it was shredding a lot and I was just having I was having to like cut it a lot. And so I've ordered another one of the sparkly, it's actually a pale yellow. It's kind of really hard to see. I had somebody comment on Instagram, it almost looks glow in the dark, which glow in the dark would be super cool. But, so that's on the way. But in the meantime, I've just been working on filling in this last little bit. So, and I'm doing this on 14 count Aida. I just am not good with, I'm just not good with the linen yet. So everything I've been buying, as far as cross stitch goes, has been Aida. So again, Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, Jack's Halloween Dream. And so to finish this off then, which hopefully I'll have it done next month. I don't know. We'll see. I don't really have that much farther to go. It's kind of like a flag you hang. So it came with like a little wood thing to hang it, and then it came with some yarn from the Knitted Wit to do tassels, and then you have to just like put fabric on the back, which they give you like a no-sew option for the fabric on the back, so that's probably what I'll do. And so yeah, so that's the cross stitch. Yeah, that's really the only other craft I've been working on. So now let's get into stash enhancements. There hasn't been too much. I guess since I'm talking about the cross stitch, I'll just jump to the cross stitch one quickly. So like I said, I have been watching a lot of cross-stitch YouTube lately. Like even while I'm knitting things, I'm watching cross-stitch YouTube. And so I had seen, and I don't remember because I've been like watching a bunch of different people and then like figuring out who I want to subscribe to. So I can't remember now who which video I was watching. But I saw someone make a Joan Elliott design pattern, and so I just like went and looked it up, and because I thought it was really pretty. And this is actually a different one that I bought, but it's a peacock lady, and I have a friend that loves peacocks so much, and I don't know if like having a cross-stitch like framed project in her house is quite her like style of her home, but I don't care. I think she's really gonna like it. So I bought the pattern. I bought it from 123stitch.com is where I found it. And then I bought, because I really don't have a lot of threads and stuff, like really all of them are either Halloween. All the threads I have are basically Halloween and Christmas colors, because up until very recently, I only was buying kits from the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery that were Halloween or Christmas. So right now I'm just kind of buying the threads and sort of kitting them up myself. And pretty soon I think I'll be to the point where I have like a little bit of a stash of it. So I literally just got all the threads I needed. It does have some of that Krynic. I think there was a gold one too. I don't know. Oh, it's in my hand. So it does have some of that like sparkly Krynic, which I know it's going to look so pretty, but I'm going to be very sad when I have to be using it because, yeah, this is the exact same as the one in the other one. It's just different colors. And then it also called for a few beads. So I've never used beads before. These are Mill Hill beads, of course. So I've got the Mill Hill beads. And then I bought two different fabrics because I wasn't sure, because I do think I want to do it on blue. It was kind of hard to tell from the website. So I think I'm going to use this lighter one, but I have this darker one too. And I have a plan. I have a general plan. Like I think the other one I'll probably do another Halloween something on when the time comes. So that was the cross-stitch stuff I bought. So I don't know. I think maybe when I finish this Halloween, the Jack's Halloween Dream, I don't know, maybe I'll start on this. Or maybe one of the other kits. I'm really trying not to go all out on buying all the cross-stitch and English paper piecing things, but it is kind of like the knitting where you want to like build up that stash a little bit, So anyway, I am here for the cross stitch, especially. I'm like fully like looking it up on Instagram all the time, particularly Halloween ones right now, I think, because I'm working on a Halloween one. Anyway, obsessed. Okay, so then I'm going to get into reading. I'm going to just grab my planner because I can't fully read it from all the way from over there. So I actually have read quite a bit. Actually, I listened to a lot of books this last month. So I finished The Upside of Unrequited. Did I even talk about that last month? I don't think so. So last month I was reading Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda. It's a young adult book, and I really loved it. And then The Upside of Unrequited is by the same author, and it wasn't really like the second book in the series, but it's kind of like an offshoot, like a spin-off. Like it refers to some of the characters in the Simon book, but they're not the main characters. And so I read that one really fast. I really loved it. I actually checked out from the library the second book of the Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda, which is Leah and the Offbeat, I think. But I haven't started reading it yet because I've started a different book. I finally finished the Hamilton biography. So because I drove to Cleveland from Chicago, I just like listened to books the whole time in the car, especially when I have those long drives by myself. So I finally got that one finished. So I guess now I'm a Hamilton expert. Okay, no, I'm not. But so I really did enjoy it, and I think I said this in some previous coffee catch-ups. I had tried to read the book. I had it on my Kindle, and I just couldn't. I just could not. I would read 2 pages and be like, it's so boring. So listening to it definitely was much better. And so I finished that one on the way to Cleveland. And then so on the way home from Cleveland, I was like, what am I going to listen to? So I ended up listening to 2 books on the way home. I do listen to my books a little bit sped up, so I'm able to get through them a little bit quicker. I just feel like when I read them or listen to them at like regular 1 speed, it's almost a little too slow. So usually I kick it to like 1.25, occasionally 1.5, depending on the author. So while I was in Cleveland, some of my friends were talking about the Jack Black movie, wait, I wrote it down. The House with a Clock in Its Walls. And they were like, oh, it's a book. And so I like do love reading books that are turned into movies. So I listened to The House with a Clock in Its Walls, and I really enjoyed it. So I got through that like halfway through my drive. And then somebody else had mentioned while I was in Cleveland, they got talking about The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which I had never read. So I listened to that on the way home too. So I really liked that. I feel like that one, I will read it again. I really, really liked it. Now I don't know what's happened to me. Because I read this Hamilton biography, all of a sudden I'm into history. And, you know, I've always been like a math science more of a person versus like a history person. I don't know. I feel like people tend to kind of be one or the other. I don't know. Anyway, I was never really like the best history student or anything. I got through it. But now I'm just like into it. So, I'm listening to a book called The First Conspiracy, and it is about a conspiracy to kill George Washington. Like it's like a factual book. So that one's pretty good. I'm enjoying it. And actually it's read by the same guy who read the Hamilton book, so I liked his style of like reading, I guess. So I've been enjoying that one. So I'll probably be through that one in the next week. And then as far as physical, like reading books go, I've checked this one out from the library. I'm not too far so far, but it's called Love, Hate, and Other Filters. So it's, again, another young adult book. I like to read young adult books because, I don't know, you just like to read what you like to read, right? So so far I'm really liking this one. I'll probably be done with it. Even though I'm only 30 pages in, I find once I get going on the young adult books, I'm done in like 2 days. So that's it for reading. So I feel like the reading was the biggest part of this knitting podcast, but that's just how it's been, I guess. So I guess let's see, what else do we want to talk about? Well, I guess that's it. So now I'll get into talking about things going on at Jen Lucas Designs. Okay, work has been good. Like I said, I went to the trade show, so I came home with a little bit of yarn, which I talked about more in my Patreon video. There's always a link to my Patreon down below if you're interested. So I came home with a little bit of yarn to do designs, not too much, but I had a lot of great meetings, so ball is rolling on a lot of great things, so I'm very excited. And then I've just finished a couple of things recently. Speaking of my Patreon, this is the July Patreon pattern that will be out in a couple weeks exclusively for my Patreon members. So they voted on some things that they wanted in the design. I did say I wanted to do a shawl with this yarn. It's Emma's yarn, and it's her Hella Hank, so it's either like 600 or 650 yards. So I knew I wanted to do a shawl, but the vote was bottom up short row with some lace, so that's what I gave them. So that'll be out exclusively for Patreon members in a couple weeks. And then while I was at TNNA, I had brought a shawl with me, and my plan was like to knit about half of it and then knit the other half when I got home. That was sort of like what the plan was. But then I really enjoyed knitting it, so I just knit the whole thing, and that's why I didn't have a finished rainbow sock. But I do have a finished rainbow shawl. It's not blocked, and there are a ton of ends to weave in. But oh, yes, yes, yes. I love it. So this is Sweet Georgia yarn. It's all of the Tough Love sock base, which I love. I think it's an 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. I'll have information about it down below for sure. And so the gray is just one skein of it, which is like around 400 or 420 yards. And then I used one of her party of 5 mini skein sets, and I think the mini skeins, it's about 84 yards or so in each mini skein. So I did some half pie shaping, and then I just added like, this is like kind of, it's sort of like a chevron feather and fan at the bottom. I just kind of made it up to work for my stitch count. I mean, I'm sure that this pattern's in a stitch dictionary somewhere, but I didn't have a stitch dictionary with me, but I just kind of worked it out so that it would work. So I just need to weave in the ends and block this. So I'm going to do a little mini shawl collection. I think for August I can have everything ready, August or September. So that's just one of the shawls for that. So that's pretty much it as far as things I've been working on for work. Just kind of everything else has been kind of standard. Next month I'm going to Springfield, Illinois to teach for a knitting guild there. So lots of great things coming up too. Have yarn coming in all the time for shawls for different yarn companies and different things I have planned. So definitely stay tuned. So I think that that's everything for today. A little bit of lots of different things going on today, I think. So that's it for me for today. And if you liked this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. And if you want to see more videos from me, including more coffee catch-ups, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you like, you can turn on the notifications to be notified whenever I upload a new video. So I hope that everybody has a great day and a great week, and happy crafting. And I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.